And welcome back, or not, probably. There's only like 4 usual viewers, but I did get 8 views on the last one, so thank you for that. Something I realised that I haven't said in the last time I did these two is please like and subscribe. And my name is Milo. Nice to meet you. At least I got it on time this week, hopefully, unless this probably won't take forever to edit, so I read 10 books in the. I will go over how many books I read in May, which was 10 books. First book I read was Flashfire. This is the sequel to The Extraordinaries by T.L. Clune. T.L.? T.J. T.J. Clune. There's J. T.J. Clune. If you saw my last video, you know that I read The Extraordinaries as the last book of April, and then I immediately went into Flashfire, which I rated 4.5. It's just a standard sequel. It's alright. It still involves fanfiction excerpts, which are still not great. The main character, Nick, is not a great fanfiction writer. It's very Wattpad-esque, which is, I guess, kind of cute, but it's very childish in a sense. I like the relationship between Nick and Seth, that's his name. It's very sweet. The next book I read, which isn't going to surprise anyone, is once again I reread Tabanoff, which it's still 5 stars. It's still amazing. I won't spend too much time with it, but I did listen to it on audiobook, and as of last week, I'll show not last week, last month, I show the superhero that I did, which was this one. So I take pride flags, and even more prevalent because I will be uploading this in June. So yeah, this is the non-binary flag and the MLM flag. It's not the greatest thing I've done, but you know, it's not terrible. Alright, and next, after Tabanoff, I did reread Dapgo because it felt like I should reread them together, and you know, still 5 stars. It's amazing. Right, and then after Dapgo, I read First Die at the End, which is the prequel to They Both Die at the End, set 6-7 years before They Die at the End takes place, which I read They Both Die at the End back in December, which I rated 4.5, and I also rated this 4.5. It was kind of a lot more emotional than I think than the first book, technically, second book. But I don't know if that's just because I was in the midst of a slump when I was reading They Both Die at the End, but this felt a lot more emotional. Like, maybe it's because it's over 500 pages, so you spend a bit more time with both of the characters, but there's a lot more, then again, there's a lot more POVs in this one. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't generally I don't think that many people actually like this and think that it's just a cash grab, but I liked it. But then again, I'm a sap. I cry very easily, hence the name of the channel being Sob Sessions. The next book I read after the first to die at the end was You Will Get Through This Night by Daniel Howell, which is the YouTuber Daniel Howell's mental health guidebook. And obviously this is the paperback version, which as far as I'm aware is only available in the UK. Well, in the UK currently, and look, I got it signed. It's really weird how giddy I am about this. If you've already read this, You Will Get Through This Night, like the hardback version, and you think you shouldn't get it because of that, you should get the paperback version because there is bonus content and it's also a lot cheaper than you will get. Obviously, if you live somewhere that isn't England, you can't get it unless get it. But like when it does come out, which it probably will, because I don't see why Dan wouldn't make it like eventually, like internationally available. It does look a bit like I had read a sad book and then immediately read a mental health guide. No, I wasn't going through it. It's just it arrived while I was still reading The First to Die at the end. So yeah, this is still 5 stars. In the first one of these I did back in March, I just recently I had read the hardback, which I rated 5 stars. At some point, I think this month, I'm going to listen to the audiobook, which so look forward to that coming up in June's how much I've read. The next book I read was From Bad to Cursed, which I rated, which is the second book in the Witches of Thistle Grove book and Crib series, and the first book being Payback's a Witch. I read Payback's a Witch back in November, and this one is about the main love interest of the first book's sister, and I rated this 3.5. It was just, it was interesting. I like it when there are like when it's a modern setting and there's fantasy world like just a part of it, because I don't know why it feels is it easier to read. I just like it. But this book, obviously I preferred the first one. This book is just like a standard romance. It's honestly, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was going to be Grumpy Sunshine, with the main character being grumpy and the first one being Sunshine, but they weren't, which was slightly annoying. But anyway, the one I read after that was Aces Wild, a heist by Amanda Dewitt, which I rated 3 stars. Basically, this kid whose mother is running a casino, doing a bunch of crazy things. His mum gets arrested, and his life gets like thrown off balance, and he invites his friends over, and they try to like figure out a way to get a way to get her out of prison, basically. And that's very oversimplified. I didn't really like this book. Well, I mean, not that I hated it, it's just not really my thing. Not because all of the characters were asexual. That was great. Love the representation, just not my cup of tea. It wasn't as exciting as it would be, as I thought it was going to be, which is slightly annoying, but hey, that's a me problem. The next book I read was Ruthless Romans, Horrible Histories, Ruthless Romans, because I wanted to. It's a history book. Pardon me. Book. I have a lot of these, so it's not that surprising. I rated it 3 stars, just standard kids history book, and it's interesting and slightly gory. So, next book I read after that, and the second to last book I read the entire month, was Gwen and Art Are Not in Love, which I thought was an Arthurian law retelling. It's not, actually, but this guy, Arthur, who we call Art, is the descendant of Arthur, apparently. So, this is a slight spoiler, but basically, the Arthurs, like the Round Table, everything like that, happened in real life, right? And like it's an alternate English history, which, standard, a lot of people, old English history, why wouldn't you, where Arthur and the Round Table existed, and, like, over time, once, and, like, it's turned into its own religion, basically, him being worshipped, which is really interesting. And I had no idea that would happen. And look, it's a map of Camelot, which doesn't actually exist, so it makes sense. It's very pretty. Yeah, but I really like this book. So, like, Gwendolyn is the princess. Says they are betrothed when they were young. They hate each other for a while, and I really like lesbian and gay solidarity, like best friends. Also, surprising representation. The love interest for Gwen is her. Her name's Bridget, and she is Taiwanese, which is nice. And he is half Iranian. His mother's from Iran, or his grandparents from Iran had his mother, and then yeah, it's really interesting. And I'm talking really fast, aren't I? I don't mean to. I'm jittery. The final book I read in May was 16th Souls, and I was really excited about this because it's set in York, which is where I'm from, and you never get stories or books set here. It's always like London, Brighton, Kent, Kent of all places. There's probably loads of stories that are set in York. I've just never seen them. If you know books that are set in York, please put them down in the comments and recommend them to me. And also, sprayed edges, and it is signed, which is nice. I rated this 4 stars. What I didn't realise going into it is that this guy, the main character, Charlie, is disabled. He had, one moment, meningitis, I think, which caused him to lose his legs, basically. Well, they had to be amputated to save his life, among other things, which I didn't know, which was really interesting and nice. About ghosts, which makes sense. If you weren't aware, York is the most haunted city in the entirety of Europe, which, shockingly, I thought there'd be more, like, ghost stories, fictional ones. There are a lot of real-life ghost stories set here. I mean, Guy Fawkes was born here. What was his name? Dick Turpin was hanged here. So there's a lot of ghosts in York. This video is going to be really short in comparison to the first two, I think. Saying that, I haven't edited it down yet, but probably going to be really short. I don't know why I'm really jittery. I just kind of am. Sorry, I guess. I don't think that many people care. I know a lot of people mainly come here for the TikTok compilations, and I appreciate that. But I do care about these videos too, and it's just not important. But yeah, that's everything I read in no, it's May. Everything I read in May. And if you saw, which you probably did, that I changed my profile picture to include books, which, I mean, so it shouldn't be that surprising that I got this, if you've seen my profile picture, because this is in it. Smudged. It's smudged. I didn't realise it was smudged before. I don't know if it's not important. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully, at some point, bookshelf tour eventually. I know I said that last month. It was only like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? I know I said that before, but I do actually mean it, and I do actually want to do it. So that should be coming at some point. And yeah, I'll see you either next, I don't know, weeks or something, or next month. Bye.